the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Blake Sloan, one of the top real estate agents not only on the Grand Strand, but in the world. Been featured in Forbes magazine, the Wall Street Journal, NBC, and many other publications. And now, the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. It is another edition of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. I'm Dave Priest. Over the next 30 minutes, lots of information to get to. So you need to get out a pen, get out a paper, write it down in your notebook, scribble it somewhere, or if you're very advanced, put it in your phone so you can have the information for later. But here's all the contact information. If you want to get in touch with Blake Sloan, it's Sloan Realty Group. The phone number is 808-SOLD. That's 843-808-SOLD. You can also go online to BlakeSloanRadio.com, BlakeSloanRadio.com. And if you've got any questions that you'd like to, you can just email to ask@BlakeSloanRadio.com. Plenty of ways for you to get in touch with Blake, but if you want to hear Blake, you can do that right now for the next 30 minutes. Here he is, Blake Sloan.
Hey, good morning, everyone. I got a ton of great info for everyone, both buyers and sellers. Definitely want to apologize to everybody. We had to run a few best of or reruns the past couple weeks. I was actually been flying all over the country at a few conferences and a few speaking things. And I think the week before that, we even had a film crew here. My co-host is even part of our documentary with the film crew, so we didn't have time to record, but brand new show here, brand new shows going forward, so everybody don't give us up on us yet. We're going to have some all new brand new stuff for you. Awesome stuff today as well. We got the most up-to-date numbers on our real estate market here from last month. They're out, and we kind of some different news than it's been, so we'll kind of tell you about those, some ups and some downs in there, and a ton of great info for everyone. We also have the 5 biggest mistakes that home buyers make in the home buying process, and we see this every single day, and it's stuff that you think are pretty common, but it's such easy slip-ups where people do it and have no idea that it can literally stop their home buying in its steps, and it's game over. You got to wait, literally lose that house 3 to 6 months later, so if you're lucky. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about a bunch of other stuff in regards to what's happening with mortgage rates, information here. We'll talk about we're also hiring in our company, both sales, administrative areas. We've had so much growth. We're expanding here, expanding a couple different areas, and looking for top-notch talent who basically looking to over-deliver and play at the level we're looking to play at. So we'll talk about that for everyone. And, of course, the usual smoking hot deals, and also get priority access to all the best new listings before anybody else even knows about them.
Well, if you haven't listened to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show before, I mean, Blake's been on the air here for several years, but if you are a new listener, let me just intro Blake just a little bit here. It's an amazing story. Industry leaders will call him the real estate whiz kid. He's been featured on Fox and Friends, The Morning Show, on Forbes magazine, Wall Street Journal, on NBC, Realty magazine, other national publications. He's been personally endorsed, and you've heard him here on this radio station, Sean Hannity and Glenn Beck. Anyone by itself is great. Put them all together, it's unprecedentedly great. Now, last weekend, we've been talking a lot about exactly what you and your team do, Blake. And you got your trademark systems for buyers and for sellers. And again, for those who might be just tuning in for the very first time, why don't you kind of give a brief synopsis of what you do?
Absolutely. That's one thing that we can't say enough. And if I got to say it 10 times, in the show, people would not turn the channel, I would, because it's that important. And it's the single most important variable that determines your failure or success as a home buyer or home seller in going through the process is 100% related to the agent that you choose, right, or the team that you choose. And most people make the biggest mistake of thinking that all real estate agents are the same, they're just a commodity, and that could not be further from the truth, and it could not be a bigger mistake to think that. And what happens is, from A to Z in the home buying process, also in the home selling process, there's over 100 different variables. Every single one of those variable points, you can create positive leverage, right, which helps you or saves you, makes you money, or negative leverage, which costs you money or hurts you in that positioning. And if you basically stack those dominoes, it can really help you tremendously or hurt you tremendously. What our systems have done and what we did is reverse engineered every single one of those variables to create maximum leverage for you. So what it does is to give our clients the ultimate competitive advantage in the home buying or home selling process, and they're totally separate. For example, our sellers, we have our guaranteed sold system, which is the only proven system that sells homes faster and for 20% more money in traditional methods. And also for our home buyers, we have our unfair advantage home buying system. What that does gets them, there's way more than just looking at houses online, right? There's so many pieces to the puzzle there, and it helps you get priority access to all the best deals before anyone else, gets you access to the best financing, right, which is the number one mismanaged variable when people do buy is interest rate. And there's so many more aspects from A to Z, from negotiation to helping you get it closed. There's so many parts of that, and we'll talk a little about both of those today.
Now, the thing is that coming up in just a second, we've got some great numbers. You said you got brand new information, Blake, as far as the real estate market.
Yeah, finally new numbers out. And
Update as far as that goes.
Way different than numbers have been, not way different, but significantly different than what we've seen in the past. It's kind of what we predicted would happen a little bit, but some ups and downs, and different aspects of the market are looking different. And we'll break into that and kind of see what that means and what that means to anybody that owns or anybody looking to buy, and what that means going forward as we go into our kind of our winter season into spring as well.
And that's why we do the show every week, because it changes all the time. So we'll talk about that. We've got some mortgage rates, some other interest numbers to go over. That's all coming up in just a second, right here on the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Phone number, in case you want to get in touch with Blake, is 808-SOLD, 808-SOLD. Blake Sloan. It's Sloan Realty Group.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. That's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast and for top dollar. That's why, on average, Blake sells a property every single day of the year and is ranked among the top 100 agents in the entire U.S. by the Wall Street Journal. Now, working with Blake is risk-free. If you're not happy, Blake gives you the freedom to cancel your contract and pay nothing. So give Blake a call today at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or just go online and see Blake's interview on NBC at blakesguarantee.com.
It is the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Plenty of information yet to get to, and as we alluded to right before the commercial break, a lot of new real estate information to talk about, locally or regionally. And Blake, I know you've been chomping at the bit to try to let everybody know what's going on in the market. What is going on?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. So just obviously I'll break it down to single-family homes, right? Condos, lots. And because that kind of gives you a little better view of what's going on if you group it all together and kind of throw you off. So breaking the numbers, as we usually do, single-family homes, the sales there remain steady. You know, strength in regards to pricing is still, the strength stay the same. Condo sales and also the prices are sluggish a little bit. So let's look at the August numbers. They always come out right the middle of the next month. But in August, the single-family sales were in line with July sales, but they were 10% less than August last year. So year to year, if you compare month versus the other month, they were 10% less than the year before. The thing to remember there, though, is that August was a record-breaking month in regards to the numbers they had. So where are we at year to date, right? That's kind of most important. Are the sales up year to date? Are they down year to date? Right now, they're 4.7% up. For 2013, I saw another report that said 4.9%. So we're anywhere from 4.7 to 4.9, which is great news, right? Because it's always supply and demand. So we've seen some ups and some downs in regards to the actual sales numbers. But if you look at the actual home value, which is what most people really care about, that when we get that in a second, is still steady for single-family homes. If you look at inventory, right, which is back to the supply side of that, is it's up 8.3% from prior year's levels, and it's as high since 2010, but it's still good, like we mentioned. It's not unhealthy to where it's at, where I have a lot of the colleagues and friends in other markets across the country who are experiencing no inventory, and it's very, very difficult to kind of navigate that. They're even concerned about bubbles in some areas, but the inventory's had a seasonal decline. As it always does. Obviously, our summers are our biggest months. Here's the key kind of factors to look at, though. Distressed single-family homes, which is foreclosure, distressed sales, all that stuff, it's remained steady at 24.5% below last year's levels, right? Huge thing there, because we talked about this for years. You can pull up old news interviews with me for years ago when this whole thing started, and I said that the biggest thing that would help, you know, the homeowners recover is for the foreclosures and all the backlog, the shadow inventory to get flushed out, right, so the market can correct itself as it does. And that's what we've seen, where there's not continuous foreclosures coming in, you know, month after month after month in huge numbers that are driving down the prices. So that's what's helped prices remain healthy. So look at single-family prices. They were very strong in August. Median sale price of $189,795. And here's the greatest part. Here's what everybody cares about. They're up 5.4% year over year. So if you look at where's it at, you know, same time last year, it's up 5.4% in regards to a median year over year. And that's one thing to remember. The sold to list price ratios have actually gone up a little bit. They're right above 94%. I've seen some reports that's shown that they're actually up like 96%. I'll pull it up in a second. There's two reports that really kind of go with. It's because some data is from the MLS, which is, I think, is a lot of times the most accurate, and there's also some other data that's sales that aren't MLS related and certain things. So we kind of combine those as a whole. But if you look at condo sales, they're lagging, and that's something that we kind of look at and take into. I think the most important part is single family. Like if single family was hurting, I'd be concerned there. But and we're still obviously watching. We predict there'll be some dips and some ups and downs. So here's what's changed from what's been different. Sales are lagging 2013, which it has prior. And condo sales in August were down 6.7% to August 2013. Right, it's actually not as down as much as homes. But if you look at year to date, sales are down 3.6%. Okay, so we always talk about the lagging indicator that is what is prices. So that's one thing to kind of look at, and we'll kind of go down there but condo prices are down slightly. Some of the reports are saying flat, but it's actually down slightly. Median-wise to 110,000 year over year. So we've seen a small decline. I got another report I'll pull up in a second there. But the condo inventory is up 2.2%, pretty good. The key factor here, which really kind of helping condos, is foreclosure, distress sales. They call it distressed inventory, is down 45.8%. So literally half of those last year, which is helping that median price, I guess, protect itself in a way. It's kind of shielding it from continually being down, even with the sales amount being down, because there's not as much distressed inventory they're competing. So even though there's a few less sales, there's a lot less foreclosures and distressed sales they're having to compete with, which in turn would drive their prices down, right? So important to kind of remember, residential lot sales are down 37.6% from last year. Off the top seems scary, right? But it's not, because there was such a huge influx of people when that builder confidence finally came around last year, right? When everybody kind of saw, okay, scrape bottom, we saw that they were going like crazy to try to buy everything they could up, especially in lots that had infrastructure already in there,
right,
so they could build quickly and be able to do that. So that's kind of where the inventory's obviously down there as well. When you kind of see, even with those sales being down, in year to date they're down 13.1%, but even within, check this out, this goes back to what we were talking about, the median sales price for lots is up 19.0%. So that's why it's not really great, but if you group those all together, that can be obviously really throw you off, because if you look at single family, residential, and condos all together, it's something that can really, I guess, it can be skewed very, very easily. That's why we always look at, we call it, even here, our macro market, and we look at the micro market, even to each zip code and kind of what's going on, and that's kind of the key factors. But if you look at, there's two ways to look at it. One is year to date, right, which I kind of like that. It's like you're short, but you can also look at a 12-month rolling average, which a lot of people do, and those numbers are kind of a little different there. But it's just back to what we said, before, where if you do the 12-month average from basically September 2013, August 2014, closed sales up 4.4% overall, right? And the price range of the largest growth, again, we talk about this, is 300,000 and above, right? They're actually up 21.3%, and that goes from a lot of people where, like I mentioned, the higher end they sit on the sideline, the more conservative, right? There's also jumbo loans are much easier. The rates are lower than statistically. Actually, jumbo loans are even lower rates than regular traditional conventional loans, which is a great thing there to remember as well. So really great info, and you kind of look at all different stats and what's going on, and days on market. We've seen days on market, which is how long does it take from when it's listed to close, decrease month on month, especially each price range, which is always healthy. And the one thing too that if you look at kind of like by price range, kind of different percent of list price, like if you look at, for example, the average list to sale ratio. So if I have a house at $100,000, right, and it sells for $98,000, that's 98% of list price, right? It's kind of the ratios they have there. But if you look at the different, so for example, if you look at $250,000 to $300,000, they're selling at 97% asking price, because, right, higher demand in the short term there. Same thing, $300,000 above, it includes like $1 million, multi-million-dollar. They're still right at 95.6%. And that's kind of looking at a few others. If you get 150 to 200, they're selling at 96.5%. So the key factor here, if you look at the same month last year for the same month this year, all those are up. If you look at the actual, so that's why it's in the different reports there. It's kind of important, and we'll post some of that for everybody. But really great info as a whole. Inventory's not up that much to really be a concern. So good news there. We're still obviously conservative, watching what's going to happen with some slowdowns in interest rates and things like that. But definitely, good news so far for everyone for sure.
If you didn't get those numbers, you go onto the website, BlakeSloanRadio.com, BlakeSloanRadio.com. I know that's a lot to digest. But speaking of numbers, some of the most important numbers, interest rates, mortgage rates, where are we looking at now? Absolutely. So
we've kind of been all over the place. Anybody's been following, I could probably do a whole show on just this, what's been going on lately. But right now for a 30-year fixed rate, you're at 4.26%. That's up from a few weeks ago. We were actually up to almost 4-month highs right now. It was down to almost the 52-week low is 4.08%. We were at 4.10 a few weeks ago. And obviously that comes from the Federal Reserve, and we'll talk about that, kind of what's been going on there. 15-year fixed rate, 3.41%. 30-year FHA is a 3.75. The jumbo 30-year fix is 4.11, right, which we mentioned is less than the conventional. And a 5-1, a 5-year ARM is 3.24%, and we saw that jump, happen recently, obviously this past week, and still it's still not, concerning. It actually wasn't as much as people thought it was. Where the Federal Reserve obviously had a meeting that they all had, and like I said, we'll post a few articles if anybody wants to see it. I don't want to get nerd out on anybody and kind of go into all the aspects of it, but long story short, they kind of edge up to a 4-month high. Everyone knows that the Fed's talking about obviously trying to get their interest rates up, obviously what they charge, and also they're continuing taking back their purchasing of mortgage-backed securities. So obviously, which came from a lot of people, what they want to do, what's happening, and they had that meeting this past week, and they're continuing what we all thought, and they're going to watch it. They started looking not to do that until spring. So it was a thing where the rates jumped from 1.5 month highs to 4.5 month highs quickly. But it was still, 0.01% is what that was to kind of make that difference there for everyone. So it's still, like I said, we said months ago at 4.25, I thought I was squeezing in, when that happened. That was like April. So still great news, but everyone and anyone now, it's like, all right, that little window where it went back down because a lot of the global, uncertainty and issues we're having overseas kind of played a part there. Now, so many economists calling for them to kind of continue tapering that back, that they obviously are wanting to hedge against inflation. So there's a lot of stuff there to remember. Long story short, every single expert in the industry is saying, look, the rates are going to go up, continually, this obviously fourth quarter into the first and second quarter of next year, and more likely going to see the bigger changes in spring of next year.
All right, well, we've still got a long way to go in the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show. If you do want to get in touch with Blake, you can call 808-SOLD, that's 843-808-SOLD, or go onto the website at blakesloanradio.com, that's blakesloanradio.com. Coming up in just a second, hot buyer alert and some of our hot topics of the week as well. That's all coming up next on the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Hello, Myrtle Beach, it's Glenn Beck. And if you need to sell your property, you don't have to experience all the headaches and long nights that I had to experience when I finally sold my home in Connecticut. Because you have...
Let's get back from this. Okay, I was going to say we'd be at about 18.
Okay,
so.
cool.
Realty that guarantees to sell your property at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake is going to pull out his checkbook and buy it himself. The Wall Street Journal ranks Blake among the top 100 real estate agents in North America, and I've personally met Blake, and I can tell you that his national marketing program is unparalleled. Blake even gives you the option to get out of your contract at any point if you're not happy with his level of service, but you never will. He's the real estate agent I wish I could have called, Blake Sloan. Call him now at 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Or visit Blake's website and see his interview on NBC. That's Blake'sGuarantee.com. Blake Sloan of Sloan Realty Group. It's the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan from Sloan Realty Group. As you just heard, the phone number is 808-SOLD, 808-SOLD, or you can go to BlakeSloanRadio.com to get information on what's going on. Time for your hot buyer alert, and this one is a hot buyer alert. Now, Blake and his team, working with all sorts of home buyers, are looking for homes in the Myrtle Beach area. The range in price from about $300,000 to $375,000. So if you're thinking of selling, make sure and contact Blake immediately. Again, the phone number is 808-SOLD. That's 808-SOLD. Now, Blake, the thing is that I know you've got a lot of active buyers out there. You're one of the only ones that are going to be checking all these people and have such an active database online. Last time I checked here, you've got almost 10,000 active home buyers that are looking through your leads.
Crazy, right?
9,900.
And these are, and that's why I got the exact, screenshot I showed you from our back end. This is not like buyers that just like search, right? These are buyers who have signed up, who are logging in daily, who are searching. We spend over $10,000 a month in our advertising everywhere. So our marketing is not just locally, it's not nationally, versus worldwide. Because we're a vacation destination, we bring in those buyers. Especially now, we talked about, but, and that's kind of thing where you can see where, that's just as of today, right now, how many active buyers, and what has it got? 9,963 active home buyers right now searching daily, right now we're talking about this. They're on there searching. So
it's a place to be. Everybody wants to move here.
And that's people a lot of times online depends on their type, and so we track everything, demographics, so where we hiring people tend to plan a lot further ahead of time, right? They search Google and they're 6, 8, 12 months, so we kind of cultivate for a while and see, and so those are just some people right there. real live people who are searching daily. So it's not, hey, look, we got these buyers that submitted, to our site we never talked to or never done anything. These are people who have an account with us, and they're logging in our stuff daily, and like they, name, phone, or email, and they have searches set up, and they're logging in, seeing every time they get new things listed. And so it's really, really cool. We have a ton of high-end stuff that we can't find the houses out there. I'm just looking on here right now. Last name they got Massey. They're looking at stuff up to 3.9 million. Another one 2.3 million. Another one too. And that's obviously we got people all over the map, from 150 all the way up to like I said, 3 and 4 million. The one thing that we're having a challenge is anybody home wants 300,000, 400,000, even high end, because those buyers are obviously ready to get off the fence. There's been so many of them sitting back. And now the inventory is not there for us to be able to, to basically find what they need, because they don't just, there's not, there's way more houses out there in the $150,000 range that are similar. People are either first-time buyers that move up. They're not quite as picky. But when you're moving from a, let's say you want to buy your forever home and they're looking for your dream house, right? You don't want to just sacrifice or go with the first thing you see. So inventory has been going so fast for us. Anybody out there that's thinking about selling, you're possibly thinking about, someone that's thinking about it, someone who's been on the market forever and ever and ever, and it's getting, roots growing on their side, have them call us, reach out to us. We'll give you you can go right to our site. There's a free place you can get 30-second home value online. It's automated. We can do a personalized one for you. It's obviously a lot more detailed and accurate. But any of that stuff, call us, email us. It's free. It's not threatening. We're not here to sell you. We got plenty of, it's not like, hey, look, we're going to try to sell you on something or list your house. Look, we got these 10,000 buyers. We got to match somebody up with them. And that's kind of the way we come about it. And very, very, very helpful for sure. So been crazy. In that regards, we also had, a lot of people that are very, very happy with it as well. We talked about recently, we had that film crew here, doing a documentary, and part of that they actually got with some of our clients and past clients, and it was actually, say it's almost like not emotional for me in a way. It's like, man, it was so rewarding to see that and hear that. And a lot of times we're in our bubble. I don't realize what really goes on out there, what the challenge that people have. I know how good we are, right? We're really daggone good, but you don't realize the horror stories they may go through before. And that's why if you know somebody, listen to the show, have them listen to the show, send them to our YouTube, have them call us, whatever. And just a couple of stories I'll tell you. And it was really amazing to me. And this lady, Miss Talbot, she's an avid listener to our show. She probably listens right now, and I appreciate that if you're doing it. But she was listening with another agent at another company for almost 2 years, and I don't know how they got her to sign up. They kept doing basic extensions for her or what, but she was with them that did not sell. Through that process, and she was doing this on camera for us, and it was like I almost teared up. Her husband passed away, right? Which is, how difficult is that? And they still aren't selling the property for them. And then what happened was they would not let her. She listened to our show, decided she'd call us, was unhappy with them, and it was going to go into foreclosure because she was doing everything herself.
Right.
And it was facing foreclosure. They would not let her out of the agreement, and that's unbelievable. And that's probably the lowest of lows what I've heard. They wouldn't let her out. We finally pointed to an attorney that may help her, and then they, I guess, let her out. She came with us. We had a buyer within 48 hours. Wow. 2 years it sat there almost for with nothing through that whole process. We had a buyer in 48 hours, sold, happy as can be. It's an amazing thing there in regards to what we have. Another seller, Mr. French, he had his property listed for 186 days with another realtor unsuccessfully. We listed it, had it under contract in 10 days. And it was so cool to get these people on video. And I already said, hey, look, I'm going to have the audio here and be able to play this so everybody kind of see some of these when we have it. Another lady, Miss Jordan, she had her house listed with us, had it under contract within 24 hours. And that's just kind of the one thing. It's been on the market for 6 months with another agent. That's one thing. Look, I don't want to say we specialize in homes that people can't sell, but we're really daggone good at what we do. And a lot of times we can help fix that and find that, which is one of the reasons we license our guaranteed sold system to agents across the country to use this. Obviously exclusive with us, but that's something that's so crazy and cool. We have another guy, Mr. Crockett. He probably still listening too. Jack Crockett. He had multiple properties that were listed with multiple realtors before us, and we listed and sold all 3 of them in a couple months.
Wow.
And that just shows you, and it was so cool to see not their frustration, but how frustrated they were, and they're like hugging us and stuff, and it's so cool to see that, feel that. But anyone out there, and it was what I wanted to kind of bring it up is when she said that she'd been listening to the show and she had it listed for 2 years. Look, if you got this thing listed, it's not selling in less than 6 months for sure. But I'm talking our goal is to have it sold quickly within 30, 60, 90 days. If not, you're leaving money on the table. Right? Because if you drop, right. What do buyers think? Well, something's got to be wrong with this, right? And they're able to do that. So if this price has the right exposure and is able to match up with those buyers, that's a tremendous part there. But these are just one of the hundreds that we have. And it was so cool to get that. We're going to post it online for everybody as soon as they get it done. Even like I said, my co-host got to be part of the documentary a little bit too, and it was really cool to have that done, and hopefully we get some pieces of that. But that was one of the coolest things I wanted to be able to have that at least we can play on the show like once a week here. Sorry, one of those that we got a week, and we had an overwhelming support from so many past clients, and it was really, really cool to get. But if you're out there thinking of selling, our system is unmatched, unparalleled. I'm just not going to sugarcoat it. Just call us today, and we'll help you. 808 Sold. Make sure that we'll help you with that for sure.
All right, well, you are listening to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Coming up in just a minute, we've got some more great things to talk about, so hold on to that. Remember, if you want to get in touch with Blake, you can at any time. 808-SOLD is the phone number, 808-SOLD, or you can go online to the website that was just created for this radio show itself, called BlakeSloanRadio.com. That's BlakeSloanRadio.com.
Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity. Now, if you own property in Myrtle Beach, the national marketing plan of the realtor that you choose is absolutely critical. Now, that's exactly why you need to talk to Blake Sloan at Sloan Realty Group. Now, Blake has a marketing system on a whole different level than anyone else in Myrtle Beach. It's so effective at capturing local buyers from around the world that he can guarantee to sell your home at a price and a deadline that you agree to, or Blake's going to buy it. While most agents rely on yard signs and open houses that attract the occasional buyer, Blake attracts hundreds of buyers each month, which creates demand and helps your property sell fast.
Only got a couple minutes left there.
Should we hit that? Should we hit the 5 do nots or hiring?
How long do you think that would take? Do you have?
We'll do the hiring first, and then the 5.
Yeah, if you want to get into the hiring, I don't know if we're going to have much more time to do the hiring, and then if you've got like a hot deal of the week or something like that.
What about the 5 top? Shall we do that one next week?
You might want to, because or else you're just going to have to buzz through it so fast.
Welcome back to the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. I'm your host, Dave Priest. We've just got a couple of minutes left, and I know that we got some interesting things to get to, and we'll get to in future weeks. But I know if you want to be part of the Blake Sloan team, you can.
Yeah, a huge thing here. That's one thing that I want to talk about is, look, we're expanding. We have so much growth lately. Like I said, we have more buyer leads that we can handle. We have so many buyer leads coming to us, so many that we need to capitalize on. We're looking to hire top talent. One thing that we'll kind of change you to make you, we're going to hold you accountable. We want people that want to play at our level. We're going to challenge you to get more knowledge, be held to the highest level of integrity, work with, urgency, and, have really client-centric, because we over-deliver to our clients, and that's how we win, right? So anybody out there think of it, we're looking to how we had a brand new, agent who put 3 homes under contract in his first 3 weeks. We're looking at administratively. If you know somebody good that's smart administratively, also on the sales side, have them call us. It's 808 Soul. Have us email it in. We're looking for anybody that's talented, that wants to grow, and wants a bright future for sure.
Well, you've got some great opportunities, and obviously, if you've been listening to the show, obviously there are a lot of money to be made.
Yeah, and like I said, we have so many buyer leads and even seller leads that we want to make sure that our team continue to grow. We're looking to expand here, also other areas. If you're an overachiever, call us, right? Email us, whatever it is. A lot of times they're not just on Craigslist, because here's a talented people who are riding around listening right now. They're working right now, another job. If you're not totally happy and fulfilled, our culture is unmatched. Our team is awesome. We have a great time, and we really like to win every single day.
And
so
you're going to be training people the right way, because there have been people who have been trained in real estate the wrong way.
I just had somebody that joined us with a real estate company for 12 months. They spent $4,500 out mailing. They had not made $1. Came with us. The first thing he said, man, I got traction in 4 days. Totally different training. Amazing, talented person who's just not in the right opportunity.
Right.
And they're ecstatic right now, and the traction they've gotten just literally in a week or two. And that's what we're looking for, anybody, both administratively on the sales side as well. We're here to help winners win bigger, and looking for people who want to play with us on the level that we play at, and who want to over-deliver clients. We're passionate about our clients. We're passionate about over-delivering, and we're passionate about building a freight train business for everyone who continues to grow here and also in other areas across the state.
And the last thing we do before we go away, last few seconds, hot deal of the week.
2 hot deals. We actually got 2 hot properties in Grand Dunes that are foreclosures. Just got one's not in the market yet. One is. The other one's another waterway home, bank owned on the waterway. It's in the low 200s. Check that out. So check out the site. Go to us. We have that plus a ton of other hot deals. Who are regular, sellers, and also foreclosures as well. So call us, 808 Sold, or go to our site, check it out, and we'll hook you up with the best deals for anyone else.
All right, Blake, a lot of great information as always. If you missed any of it, go to the website at BlakeSloanRadio.com, BlakeSloanRadio.com, or you can give Blake a call at Sloan Realty Group at 808 Sold. That's area code 843-808-SOLD. As always, Blake, thanks for all the information.
Thanks so much, and I'll talk to you guys next week.
All right,
Thank
next
you.
weekend again for another edition of the Expert Advantage Real Estate Show with Blake Sloan. Hello, Myrtle Beach. Good. If you need to sell your property,